Okay, hey out there, everyone. Hope everyone's having a wonderful, blessed, safe, joyful day, weekend, life. Good evening. I wish everyone the best. So this is my final video. Talking about my feelings regarding the status of the Philadelphia Eagles as a Philadelphia Eagles fan during the course of last season, preseason. This year, I'll be talking about how I feel about the current season. So that being said, talking about the current season, how I feel about the Eagles. So I am gonna look back here at my notes a little bit. Um, this was pretty much the easiest one to jot notes down from because the clearest one, so you don't have to kind of backtrack. I kind of just going based on my current thoughts. So, by the conclusion of the preseason, like I said, as I was following all Eagles content, whether it was YouTube content creators, articles and articles or videos regarding reports on training camp or following the games on TV preseason. Um, Pretty much after doing that, looking into Nick Sirianni's background as a coach. Again, the news on practice, how wide receivers and players are playing well in practice, and just seeing how the team looked better. I went from starting the beginning of preseason and at the end of last season with pessimistic views or negative views about the team and the organization being disorganized to optimistic and positive views on this team is going to have a good underrated year because I believe the team was very viewed as underrated. People had this as 5 wins, and I don't understand why we were as low as 5 wins because to me it was the main issue the main reason for the failed season last year to me was injuries. So those players coming back, I understand Carson Wentz exit, Jalen Hurts comes in, but I can't see based on you return most of your team, only thing really changes quarterback. I do understand quarterback is a big deal, do with it, but it's not Jalen Hurts. Looked terrible. He looked inconsistent at times in his 4 game stretch. Yeah, but the eye test says he could play football, right? So, I couldn't understand what he had as a 5 wins. I expected to have more, this season. So again, like I said, the main important thing with the health coming back is that we proved at the main positions, which were our best position, which was defensive line, offensive line. We were very banged up at those positions last year. Um, like I said in the previous video, return Brandon Brooks. He didn't play at all last season. Lane Johnson comes back. Those are two Pro Bowlers. Lane Johnson was dealing with a ankle, I think, something with his foot or ankle last year. Deal with that all season, so he was never really healthy. Kelce is really the only veteran offensive lineman and Pro Bowl lineman that played all year. Then you got Jordan Mailata, the former rugby player, being upgraded and winning the job over Andre Dillard, which I wanted Jordan Mailata to win the battle the entire preseason. So I'm glad that he won it. Um, and then we got Issac Semulo coming back. We drafted Landon Dickerson, which if he's healthy, he could be a stud. Um, and then you add in the other pieces that have starting experience in the league. Nate Herbig, Jack Driscoll, and Andre Dillard, who all had some kind of starting time at some point in their careers because the person ahead of them got injured. Andre Dillard obviously was injured last season, but I think 2 years ago he got some playing time when Peters got injured. And then Driscoll and Herbert was in the starting line last year due to all injuries on the offensive line. Then we go to the defensive line. Javon Hargrave didn't play really at all last season because he got injured. Um, Fletcher Cox was banged up all last season. Brandon Graham was really the staple of the defense last year. Um, so top of that, now you add in those players coming back. Then you add in Ryan Kerrigan, who we got from Washington football team in rotation, who in rotation could be a key player. Josh Sweat showed improvement in preseason practice. Derek Barnett still had flash of potential his first 2 years, so we see if he could bring that production back. Noah Williams showed flashes in preseason to me, and I think and Hassan Ridgeway is a good veteran pass rusher. Um, then talk about wide receiver core, young wide receiver core, but Jalen Reagor and Devontae Smith had a good season last year at Alabama. Looked good in preseason practice. Jalen Reagor showed improvement in practices, um, practice tape I've seen. Quest Watkins proved in the preseason in practice and flashed in preseason games. Then you add in our veteran receiving targets. Greg Ward's still there, Zach Ertz, and Dallas Goedert at tight end position. So we're good at that position. We got young talent, so we got to see if they could perform and be productive there. Running back core, Boston Scott's still here. That's the veteran. Miles Sanders, I think it's going to be his first year. He has 1,000+ yards and 8+ touchdowns. That's my prediction for his stat line this year. So I think he'll have a good productive year, and he looks to have gotten a little bit better. I struggle at times with being consistently as a pass catcher, but he looked good the first game. Kenneth Gainwell, thought he was still in the draft, so we've seen how we implement him so far in the offense. I got high hopes for his productivity going with his future during his tenure as an Eagle. Linebackers looked improved. I think Howie Roseman did a great job of adding Eric Wilson to his team through free agency, and then our linebackers looked improved in practices and preseason to me, and Alex Singleton, Davion Taylor, Sean Bradley. Who else do we have? T.J. Edwards. I forgot. No, I got everyone. Oh, and we moved Gerard Avery from defensive end to linebacker. That was the other one. And we have Patrick Johnson, who at times flashed to me in the preseason. So that being said, our last part. This is to me our weakest. I think our defensive line is our deepest position group. In our entire position, out of all the position groups on our team, that's the deepest one, our defensive line. Now, I think our starting 3 defensive backs in the secondary are very good. And when I talk about secondary right now, I'm not talking about. I think our secondary overall is good starting wise, and I think our safety depth is good. Our depth at cornerback is not the greatest outside of our top 3. So our top 3, former Pro Bowl player who's still one of the best cornerbacks in the league, and Darius Slay. Opposite him, you got Stevie Nelson. Then you go in the slot. Avonte Maddox moved from outside back to the slot, where he was very productive in the past and has been productive so far this year. Zach McPherson, if I said that right, Zach McPherson, I would say, apologies. He showed flashes to me in the preseason. He does show that he needs to work on his technique in regards to pressing, holding too much, and also learning how much space to go, because he got beat a lot with slants in preseason. So, but he did a very good job of, once he got beat, making the tackle every time. So to me, he showed potential there of his development going forward. So if one of those top 3 players, Maddox, Nelson, or Slay, get injured, McPherson will come in, which I would be extremely concerned. But outside of that, I don't know who we got. So you don't want anyone to get injured out of the top 3, out of Maddox, Slay, and Nelson. You don't really want McPherson to play this year unless he has to. Safety. Another great move Harry Roseman did. Did a great job, by the way, adding Stevie Nelson at cornerback. That was a good move. Great move he did. Added Anthony Harris. I loved the Anthony Harris addition, as well as I loved the Ryan Kerrigan addition to the defensive line rotation. But I loved the Anthony Harris addition at safety. He took care of one of our biggest position and needs opposite Ronnie McLeod once he comes back from injury. Anthony Harris, very productive safety in his tenure with the Minnesota Vikings. I love that move. Add him to the Eagles. So him, then like I said, when Ronnie McLeod comes back, that's a good tandem to me. Ronnie McLeod still working his way back from the injury he had last year. I believe he tore something lower body. I want to get it wrong. I remember it was Achilles or ACL, or his knee, but I want to get it wrong. So, but I just know it was a lower body injury. I believe it was something with his knee or his Achilles. So if I'm wrong, apologies. But yeah, he's come back from injury. Right now we have Kavon Wallace, and Marcus Epps filling in for him opposite Anthony Harris, and I like those 2 players as rotation players. And then McLeod come back, his experience and his play recognition ability, which he was having a very productive season last year before he got injured. I think he's very intelligent and very good at play recognition, and he's a hitter, so he puts fear into the middle of the defense. Middle of the defense for people trying to catch the ball over him, and in the box, he does a good job in the running game. So when he comes back, I think him and Harris is going to be a very good duo. But yeah, safety position is pretty good. That being said, the question is this season, was Jalen Hurts' 4-game stretch a fluke? Is he accurate passer? Things like that. I don't think it was a fluke. I think he's going to have a very improved on his development as a quarterback. He has very good leadership. I love all the handles he has as a quarterback on and off the field. His team plays for him, loves playing for him. He galvanizes the players around him, the troops around him to play better. I think he's going to have 3,000 plus passing yards, 25 plus passing touchdowns. And I do think he's going to have double-digit interceptions. I'm thinking more of like 12 to 15 range. But he hasn't had turnover yet, so let me not jinx our quarterback because he's played very well so far. He hasn't had a single turnover. I do also have him having 850 plus rushing yards, 8 plus touchdowns, rushing. So, that's about 25 plus, 8 plus. We're saying really about 33 plus touchdowns just by Jalen Hurts this year. And 3,000. So that's like 3,850 plus total yards from Jalen Hurts this year. So I think he's had a very productive season. Like I said, team is back healthy. So I have very optimistic perception of this team. Very winnable schedule. I think they're going to go 9-8. I think they have a hot ceiling of 12 wins for this team. Top 2 in the NFC East, which has already been proven so far because the Giants are now 0-3 and the Washington football team is 1-2. And the Dallas is 1-1. We played them. We're both 1-1. We played them on Monday. The team has been going as I predicted so far. 1-1. I did have us beating Atlanta and losing to San Francisco, so it's been going as predicted. Going to our Game 3 match against Dallas. I watched the 32-6 win over the Atlanta Falcons. We looked very good overall. Defense looked excellent. Defense looks underrated good, like I predicted in my Eagles prediction season video. Offense looked very, very good. Passing the ball, our play calls and stuff like that. I liked. Now the second week, I thought play calling wise, we did a little bit too much. There's certain times where I think in the goal line we should just ran the ball or at least attempt to run the ball more in the goal line instead of just passing it so much. And I think that cost us the game because I think we left a lot of points on the board. And I think sometimes we even could just kick field goals, to be honest with you, because we had the momentum. By not getting any points, we gave San Francisco back the momentum. And we were at home, so we just should have kept the momentum with our fans. So I think we left points on the board against San Francisco in our 17-11 loss, but I do think we were very competitive throughout the entire game and very competitive throughout 2 weeks of the season so far. So hopefully we can make adjustments and we can go on and beat Dallas. That being said, Brandon Graham was lost in the San Francisco game, and he's a big loss not only because his ability to rush the passer, but people underrate how good he is as a edge setter, containing the edge, good run stopper. When I say good run stopper, think of the play when he blew up in the backfield and completely demolished. I think it was Mike Davis, the running back. I can't remember if it was Mike Davis or Cordell Patterson, but I think it was Mike Davis. He just Mike Davis got the ball and was hit immediately. He just destroyed him with the tackle for loss. So he does a very good job setting the edge and tackle for losses. So I think his leadership ability and his impact in play like that to motivate and get the defensive energized from his plays is going to be sorely missed. So, but he said he's continuing to lead as an example in the film room and with all game plan and stuff like that with the defensive line unit and helping all the younger players on the defense. So, again, pretty much going to Monday night, I'll do a Monday night breakdown video on Philadelphia Eagles at Dallas Cowboys tomorrow. But just very shortly, I do have Dallas Cowboys. Like I said, the NFC East splitting all games. I have all the teams going, I think, 3-3 in division games this year. So I have Dallas winning this one at home 23-20 right now. But I do believe the Eagles, this is a winnable game for Eagles. I don't think Dallas is better than the Eagles. I just think we have a lot of injuries right now. Mailata being out, so Dillard's going to come in. Then we lost Brandon Graham. So we got to figure out who's going to play opposite of Sweat or Barnett. Are they going to go Sweat and Barnett, or are they going to go Kerrigan? You know what I mean? So we got to figure out who's going to step up and fill in for Brandon Graham. So those are some of the questions I have. And short week to kind of adjust to that. So that's why I'm sticking to 23-21 for Dallas right now. But I still have very optimism on our season that we can win this Monday night game against Dallas. So that being said, guys, keep doing good in the world, guys. Wish you all a blessed, safe, healthy life for you and your family. Keep doing good in the world, guys, and go Birds, fly Eagles, fly. Fly Eagles, fly. All right, guys, peace.